I'll share the PPT with you all. Now, as you can see here, entrepreneurship, it's all about taking risk. Entrepreneur is a person who brings together all the resources, integrates them, innovates them, and creates new things, right? Okay, next thing, slide change. Here it is. The concept, it says that Richard Cantillon said that people who take a risk of running enterprise. Then we have Joseph Schumpeter, which who says that it is innovation. Entrepreneurs are innovators. Timon say that entrepreneurship is creating and seizing opportunity. Peter F. Drucker once again focuses on innovation. Right. Coming to the next that we have already covered, nature and development of entrepreneurship started from the earliest time when Marco Polo was a traveler. During Middle Ages, an actor or a person who was managing large-scale production, you can see the production process. During Middle Ages, it was known as. It was quite significant that it has to be developed. Theory has to come up. 17th century, Cantillon developed early theory of entrepreneurship. 18th century, person and capital provider, I've already told you they were differentiated. And 19th, 20th century, and tomorrow means now onwards, we can see that we have. Mute all, please. I'm muting you all. I just okay. So person and capital provider were differentiated. 19th and 20th century is something from the view of economic perspective. This is what we are going to focus today. And managers and entrepreneurs frequently not differentiated. Okay. Now coming back to the next slide, we had already seen this definition. That's a process of creating something new with value by devoting. I will suggest you that please consider this definition for writing your answers. Why? Because it contains almost everything that entrepreneur is doing in very short form. So here you see process of creating something new with value, right? Value, you should underline value by devoting necessary time and effort, assuming the accompanying financial, psychic, and social risk, and receiving the resulting rewards of monetary and personal satisfaction along with independence. And this is the definition given by Hesrich, Peters, and Shepard. Now let us see types of business. This is what is going to be our focus today. Types of business entrepreneur. So on the there are certain classification of entrepreneurs. You can see different books. You'll find different ways of classification and all. So here now let us try to understand the basic types of business entrepreneurs. First is business entrepreneur. As you can see here, a business entrepreneur is somebody, for example, who is doing a trading, right? Share trading account people have, or the share traders, or so they are the people, or maybe buying tickets, booking tickets for you. Also, they are people who are doing business already. Industrial entrepreneurs, these are the people who are basically making products or services according to the requirement of the people. So they are tailoring the product or services, you can say, as per the requirement of the people. Corporate entrepreneur. Anybody? I think last session we've already seen corporate entrepreneur. What is meant by corporate entrepreneur? People who are working inside an organization, and if they have certain plans with them, their company funds them. So what happens when they are funded by the organization? They can utilize the space within the organization, and they can go ahead with their business plans or corporate ventures, whatever they have. Of course, company may take some 20%, 25% of the profit, and rest will remain with the employee itself, who is the corporate entrepreneur of that enterprise. Next, we have agriculture entrepreneur, or agripreneurs. Now it is what is being known as these days. So those people who are into the areas of agriculture entrepreneurship, like green marketing, you see, organic products which are being marketed everywhere, and people are preferring this. Okay, you all can hear me, right? You all can hear me, right? You all, can you please raise your hands if you can hear me? I'll keep on checking because yeah, fine, thank you. So agripreneurs we have. So technical entrepreneur are the people who are innovating few things. Maybe you can say they are creating some products like robots and all. If anybody starts repairing, or maybe drones and all, they start making, or maybe they are utilizing electronic circuits and chipboards, and they're making certain toys and all. So they're demonstrating their innovative capabilities in matters of productions of goods and rendering services as well, like making up of these mobile application, web-based applications. Then we have non-technical entrepreneurs who are concerned only with developing solutions related with marketing and distribution strategies. So there's nothing technical in that. They just have to see that they are playing an important part in, let us say, logistics and transportation system. Next types of business entrepreneurs. you can say according to these stages. Now, one thing, this was on the basis of types of business. Please remember this. This was on the basis of types of business, this classification. Next, we have according to the stages of development. So let us look at the various stages of development. Okay. So you see here, we have first is what? We have first generation, means people who are entrepreneurs, means if I start doing a business, I'm a first generation entrepreneur. Modern entrepreneur, modern entrepreneur are the people who undertake these ventures which are suiting the current marketing needs. So as per the trends existing in the society or requirement of the people, they start manufacturing things, products or services as per the requirement that is generated in the society. Classical entrepreneurs are the people who have basic aim, you can say, where they just want that profit should keep coming. So it is what they are focusing on: economic returns, maximizing the economic returns. And they might not be too much concerned with the growth. So whatever business they have, they just focus on those particular business only. Innovating entrepreneurs, innovation and creativity we have already discussed in our earlier sessions. So you know that innovating entrepreneurs means the people who are innovating or coming up with new things, transforming the existing products or services by adding to their value, you can say, changing the way it is being used, their economic characteristics, and they will try to come up with something new, attractive and utilitarian. That is something of more utility, you can say, or generating newer utilities, you can say. Imitative entrepreneurs, like we have China, or people who copy the products which are already existing in the market, and they prepare or make or manufacture similar type of products or offer similar services which already somebody is doing, right? Then we have Fabian entrepreneurs. Fabian, it is actually related with those who don't want to change. So they will have their age old traditional methods and conventions, and they would not like to change the way they are doing business or they are marketing their products and services, and they are not at all ready to change their ways, traditional ways, by the help of which they are doing the business. And that is what creates a lot of problem. You see Bata and all, so they were offering to the public whatever they wanted to offer. They never went for understanding the needs of the market, and that is where major share of the Bata was taken over by other companies which entered post liberalization into Indian market. No, classic and Fabian entrepreneurs are not same. They are basically, they are fighting for doing something like, they are classical entrepreneurs. So they have the basic objective of focusing only on economic returns by maximizing the economic returns. Right. So it is not that they are stuck with a particular type of doing business. So if they have a system where you can say, for example, these new entrepreneurs who are coming up, they have got so much of diversification they go for. So here this classical entrepreneur will not go for too much of diversification, right? But he will definitely look forward towards whatever he has to maximize. He might require certain changes to do that, so he will do that. But Fabian, they are not willing to change at all. They will not try to make changes as per the requirements of the market, or maybe whatever practices of doing business they are doing. For example, suppose if the payment system has come up, right? So they refuse. They say that no, we will not accept digital money. We will only take cash itself, nothing beyond that. So these type of things are like Fabian entrepreneurs. So they will. Then we have drone entrepreneurs also. So they will never bring around any production. I hope that is clear to you. Who asked the question? No, but they are very much focused upon, you know, their economic this returns at a level consistent with the survival of the firm. So survival of the firm is very much important for them, right? But in Fabian cases, what is happening? They will run their venture on the basis of customary practices, age-old practices, and all. Maybe they are not willing to implement computers. Also, they will be carrying on their business with their traditional bahi khata, if you know, so balance sheet and all. They will not prepare it everything. So that is where the problem lies. They will not. Right. Okay. Abhijitas, it's clear. Okay, then we have drone entrepreneurs. Fine, Abhijit. So then we have drone entrepreneurs. Drone entrepreneurs are the people who will not at all try to implement any changes in their production methods or processes. So if they have old machines, they will keep on using those old machines only, and they will not change that old machine also. Production method, they will not go for, let us say, electronic systems, or maybe they will go only for manual task in manufacturing or preparation of, for example, a bread manufacturer, right? So he has employed certain laborers, and he is doing a business of creating, let us say, bread loaves and all. So newer machines and all will come, but he will not go for putting up an automatic machine where it is hand touched, right? So these are the drone entrepreneurs. Then we have forced entrepreneurs, who are forced to become entrepreneurs because of the circumstances which surrounds them. Maybe they have lost a job, maybe they had few plans earlier, but they were not able to pursue it because or maybe sometimes a person goes totally he has no motivation from anywhere while doing his job, and but he has a family to take care of. So because his family is there, and he knows that now doing a job is not at all possible, so he might try to, you know, become a part of entrepreneurial activities, and somehow he might start thinking of becoming an entrepreneur. So it is like forced entrepreneur, that people becoming entrepreneurs by chance rather than by their own choice. Okay. Right. So these are according to the stages of development that we have. Then we have certain myths, which is the next thing that we have to look into it. Now, these are some of the myths. It is not that these are the only myths. There are many other, but few I have just listed down here. As you can see, myth one, entrepreneurs, they don't quit. So it's not that entrepreneurs don't quit. If they think that their project is not going into the right direction, or maybe again something is not going their way, and if they can bear those losses by switching over into for the next, you can say, business venture and all, they might consider quitting as well. Entrepreneurs, second one, entrepreneurs know exactly what they want and how to get it. So that is also not true that entrepreneurs every time they know what they want and how to get it. Sometimes it is like trial and error method, so they have to do that, keep on trying, keep on discussing with people, expanding their networks and all. So that is how they learn, right? Entrepreneurs are their own boss. Yeah, definitely they are their own boss, but then being one's own boss again requires a lot of decision making, lot of thinking. Just by being a boss, it's not that I'll be doing everything right. Decision making is very important. One has to have a very good vision. Unless and until the vision is there, there will be a lot of problems. Entrepreneurs have to be connected. It is not that they have to be connected together. It is also the responsibility of entrepreneurs to see that he is finding out people having same interest areas, or the people who can help them. So he should himself be having that capability to build network around himself for his business. Entrepreneurs are usually rich. Now this is another myth that has been it was going on in 19th and 20th century also. So it is totally wrong now that entrepreneurs are usually rich. They might be struggling, they might be doing business, so they might have borrowed a lot of money from others. So it is not that they are always rich, but yes, if they are rich, it definitely helps, because that capital they don't need to take from capitals from people around the people. Like there are so many type of investors and banks, and there are quite many special banks like Citi and all who are providing loans to such entrepreneurs. Okay, we will look into that. We have an entire chapter related to that. Entrepreneurs requires huge funding. It is again not true. It depends on the initial capital requirement and what type of business they have chosen. Entrepreneurship is fun. Yeah, it is a fun, but then it's a very serious issue. You cannot take things and move ahead just fun. It's a way of fun. It has to be very calculative. Therefore, entrepreneurs always take huge risk. Yeah, they have to take huge risks, but then these risks should be actually be calculated risk. They should look into the environment, what is happening, and then they should try to see that to what extent, what type of risk they should undertake. Right. Okay. So I hope this much is clear to you all. Types of entrepreneurs and myths. Please raise your hands if you are still hearing me. Right. If you have any questions, you can please ask now. Yeah, three, that's what I said. It is not that it is totally myth also. Three, four, five, of course they are. Entrepreneurs are their own boss. That's what I said. Entrepreneurs are their own boss, but it is not easy to be your own boss, right? Ask your father how difficult it is to take decisions related with family. So you will think that Papa can do anything, he can take all types of decision, right? Similarly, the same thing happens with entrepreneurs also. So they are their own boss, but then their decision making ability has to be to the point. Anything goes wrong, they will suffer a lot. I hope that is clear, Kiran. Okay, okay, fine. So shall I proceed? Okay, cannot see. Okay, fine. So let us get on to the next slide. Something in the chat. Okay, Fahad. Okay. So benefits and potential risk of entrepreneurs, right? Then we come to this benefit and potential risk of entrepreneurs. Okay. So I'll keep stopping my video in the between so that to get better connectivity and all, right? Don't be worried. If you're not able to hear me, you can put in chat. So benefits and potential risks of entrepreneurship. As we see that entrepreneurs, please don't write anything. Your name is appearing here, right? As you do something, your name flashes here. This is the setting that I have done. So please refrain from writing anything. Okay. So entrepreneurs germinates a concept, takes initiative, seizes opportunity, and bears risk. This is the crux of entrepreneurship, you can say, right? So, if we say that entrepreneurship is an mental urge to take risk, face uncertainties, and intuition and capacity of forecasting things which prove true, but then it is not always, as we have always seen. So there are quite many benefits and potential risk of entrepreneur. uh, they are viewed as a factor of production, you can say. They are involved in economic activities, and they respond immediately to the requirement of the environment. So they have to be spontaneous, right? So I think we have already discussed this pros and cons of being an entrepreneur, right? Benefits and potential. As you see, you are the boss. As Chaco, you said it can be an advantage as well, but then again it has to be calculative one. You're the boss, all profit are yours, great variety in role and task, work can be very satisfying, success will give you immense satisfaction. You've already done this, it's just revising and finishing off module 1 today. You are alone. This is the risk. All decisions are yours, right? Corresponding to you are the boss. All losses are yours. Work may not be satisfying, but once you have started pursuing a particular project or a particular area, you can say you have to stick to it, right? Otherwise, you will be facing losses. You will need to put long hours. Lack of success will affect your self-esteem. I'll not explain you what is self-esteem. We have already seen that in motivation. Exiting the business becomes difficult if a lot of investments are done already there. Pressures will affect social and family life as well, right? So these are the benefits and advantages, or you can say on and disadvantages. Factors affecting, we have already discussed, so I'll just skip this one. uh, yeah, now we see this role of entrepreneurship in economic development. So, as I said, entrepreneurs are prime factors of production. They organize the resources of the society. They are the people who are generating employment opportunities because they are coming up with their business plans, or you can say, or they're setting up their ventures, they're establishing new business enterprise. So, these are the people who are continuously contributing to the rapid and balanced economic growth in the society. They are helpful in capital formation. The capital keeps on coming, right? So by business activities, you can say this capital generation or formation is impacted or affected. Then you have establishment of new business enterprise, as I said. So they are also responsible for removing disparities, that is there is an equilibrium. You see what happens in our own country. We can see that some states are very well developed, and some states are still in poverty, for example Orissa, right? Some states like it is in Tamil Nadu, maybe Maharashtra, so they are the one, or Karnataka, especially Bangalore. So some cities are, so in a state also there might be certain cities which are doing very good, certain areas which will not be doing good. So that creates what, regional disparity, right? Maybe at interstate level within the state also, and maybe if we compare one state to another, then also there may be disparity. So entrepreneur's role is also viewed as removing this disparity that exists in the society. I hope that is clear to you all. Role of entrepreneurship in economic development. Okay, now next we see no assignments. So this is all about your module 1, right? Any questions?